Hello, I will be going over the technical walkthrough of my code. First, I'm going to start by running it. Should start running very soon, hopefully. Okay, let me bring that over. So first it's going to ask you if you want to start a new game or old game. We want to start a new one. You choose a difficulty. I'm going to choose 3 because 1 and 2 will last quite a while, like more than 20 to 30 turns. So those could take a while, but eventually you will lose. Now the outposts are just randomly generated. You can choose either one. The odds of getting a random number is even for each of them. It's just there's 3 of them, just to add more random city to it, I suppose. So after each turn, you are given the end. So it says the multiplier was 1, so we didn't get a good multiplier because it does go up to 3. We made 1,600 resources. We lost 1,334. And our total is 1,360. Now we started with 1,000. That's the default parameter. We are then prompted to continue. So real quick, if you click no, it automatically saves your file. So I could just Control-Shift-B, start it, bring it back for you. Click yes if I want to start from the last game, and 1,360 resources. Choose an outpost, and it's still going to be on difficulty 3. So I'll choose 1 this time. Okay, well, I'll choose outpost 3 that time. All right, and then I'm just going to run this a couple times. You're going to see that some out is slowly catching up to me. It does take a while. So it also depends on the multipliers. Oh, wow. Okay, now if you notice, some out is now just starting to beat us unless we get a multiplier of 3. Okay, I'm going to end it there just for the sake of time. Eventually, we will lose, and just for the sake of time, I'm not going to go over it. So we will lose, and it's going to clear the file. Now, here's our save file. This is what we started with last time. I didn't save it. So 100 is the random amount it could generate up to. That changes constantly. I'll get to it more. But if in the case you lose, this gets cleared. So more on that. When you start, first we have sran time. This is important because it sets a random time for all the random number generators I have going on. And then we just have some resources. Resources month is the class. I just have one big class for this. And then we have a list of functions over here. So we have my apologies, the little buttons for the software I'm using are in the way. So I can't really click on, there we go. So this is not the header. This is the header for the save file. There's only 3 functions: lose, file data out, file data in. File data in is if you start from an old game. Data out is putting it into a new game. It's some major functions. So you're going to read over this anyway. So this whole thing just asks you if you want to start a new game. This big chunk right here is for if you start from an old game, it's going to take all the data you had from the old game, put it in. This chunk right here is the default parameter, and the switch is for difficulty. Real quick, these 3 are important. I have it written right here. It just works because difficulty changes into one of these 3 values based on one of these values. Because difficulty needs to be right here. Now, whatever this percent number, like 100, it could be a number between 0 and 100, and then multiply it by the outpost, obviously, our multiplier. So back to this function. This is a funny little Easter egg. This is how I handle somebody putting in the wrong number. If you put in the wrong number, anything, it's going to put you on the hardest difficulty, which is you can only generate a number between 0 and 25. Data out, pretty self-explanatory. I won't go too far in the detail. It simply saves your data using clears the file, and then it saves your file. If that makes sense. Yeah, you clear the old file, save stuff into the new file. Well, same file, just empty. And same thing for the lose. It just empties the file because if it's an empty file, if you click yes, it's just going to do the default parameters right here. And if you click no, it's going to do default parameters. So you can just run this with an empty file as long as it's called savefile.txt. So real quick on the header resources, these are all used into the member functions I have going on, and then these are my definitions. I have 3 voids and 1 integer. They probably could all been in voids, but I need a one for an integer for some reason. These I went with really simple names. I don't want big name. M just means made. Sum of resources made. For some reason, SM doesn't work. Never really figured out why. I mean, oh, yeah, that's why. Excuse me. So, this is for resources made, which is the difficulty times your outpost multiplier plus 1. This, I believe I got it from Zybooks. I'm not sure what the plus 1 does, but it needs to be there, or maybe it doesn't. I didn't test that. And it just simply outputs the sum. Real quick, this right here, it's really messy if you uncomment it, but you can uncomment it. It's going to print out the value for each day because RM count is actually an array that holds a value for each day in a month, which I went with 28 days for the month as a constant. Which, real quick, running backwards, Sam told me to set K underscore days because apparently K stands for constant. I don't know why. You could take that up with him. And then void resources, this handles what we lose. This is different. It increments by month times 5. So every time we go through the program, month gets bigger by 1. So 1 times 5, 5, 10, 15, 20, so on. So eventually you will lose. It just takes a long time on the easier difficulties. And this simply just gives your total resources to the main function to output it. And then this is the random number generator for operators. 3 random numbers, all get the random number generator. And then we have 3 if statements, to which these each get a random number. So it's really random. And if you do anything else, you get a multiplier of 1. That's how I solved that issue. I believe that is about it. Other than that, I mean, running it one last time, you simply click no because you don't have a new old game if you're starting for the first time. You do no, you choose difficulty, and then, well, you just choose a random outpost, and that's the game. You just rinse, repeat, and click no, and it saves your file for you. Pick up where you left off. I'm sorry, it's about 8 minutes. Hope that's not too long. And I hope you have a good day as well.